Hello, and welcome to I Can See Clearly Now. My name is T.R. Carr, the host for this podcast looking at issues facing local government. This series of interviews is based on candidates that are seeking office in the city of Farmington Hills. We're scheduling interviews for every city council candidate, and we're scheduling interviews with the 3 candidates for mayor of Farmington Hills. Our goal is to let you hear the candidates in their own words as they talk about specific policy issues. We would ask you to consider subscribing to this podcast so that you can be aware of other interviews that we conduct and other issues that we cover in the coming weeks and months. This interview, we'll be talking to Michael Bridges. He is a current member of the Farmington Hills City Council, and he is seeking re-election to another 4-year term. Again, Michael Bridges. Michael, would you prefer that I call you Mr. Bridges or Michael? How should I address you during this interview?
Michael.
Michael, I do appreciate that because I know we are friends, but I want to be sure that we don't take advantage of things. I want people to understand who you are, what you think about, and give you a chance to answer questions in your own words.
Sure.
So we'll begin. We begin with our first question, which I've asked to everybody, is that members of the city council, it's a very, very part-time job. And it's not a full-time job. So the question I have for you is, it's a 4-year term. What is your motivation for seeking election to city council?
Good question. I've been asked that question a number of times. I answer it the same way, maybe a long answer, but I think it requires me to talk about when I was in college some years ago, and I wrote down my goals. I wanted to get an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree. I wanted to be a professional. I wanted to get married, have children. My last goal I wrote in first year in college back in 1976 was to be an elected official. So you see, that comes from many years of interest in local office, or public office, and that's the reason why I'm in. And I love community service, and I'm an outgoing person. And I feel I have something to contribute.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. One thing that I want to ask, this question has a couple of parts, deals with campaign finance. We know that we can go to Oakland County and look up your name, but sometimes people don't do that. So what we'd like to do is ask you, just in round numbers, I'm not dealing down to the penny, but about how much do you think it will cost to run your campaign for our city council this time in Farmington Hills? What do you anticipate your total expenditures will be?
I was just, I've been looking at a budget around $10,000.
About 10,000.
Yes.
And then how will you spend the money? What will be spent on? How do you?
The majority of that money, TR, will be used for mailings, absentee mailer, as well as the second biggest expense is political signs. Third expense will be website design and social media, and then texting as well. So, yep.
I know a lot of people simply are not aware of the costs for basic issues in a campaign, because political signs, yard signs cost what, $5, $6 a sign, something like that. It all depends. So
yeah, all depends. They can run in between $1,000, $1,500 for signs. Yeah.
All right. The next question is kind of related to that. And again, we can go to Oakland County at some point in time. But where's your money coming from? Is it coming from residents in Farmington Hills? Are you self-funding, paying for it yourself? Or, what is the source of funding for your campaign?
Source of my funds over the last 17 years I've been on city council has been from residents of Farmington Hills, most part. And also I've received funds from local businesses in Farmington Hills. I've also got endorsements from organizations, PAC organizations, but notably the Greater Metro Area Realtors Association, UAW, as well as American Federal Station County Municipal Employees. Those are my political contributions that I've received. Yep.
Would you just roughly say about what percent comes from local residents or local businesses versus larger, maybe I'll call them area-wide or entities that contribute to your campaign?
I would say my campaign, 80%, 85% comes right from Farmington Hills. I don't have any dollars outside the state of Michigan or outside of Metro Detroit.
Okay. You've had a lengthy period of service on the City of Farmington Hills City Council. a question that people have asked me is saying, tell me about Michael Bridges. What has he accomplished? So I would ask you, what would just pick 3 or so accomplishments that you feel most proud of or maybe satisfied with in terms of your service on the city council?
Yeah, I had a number of things, but 3 that come to mind that are more that I think it had an impact in the city, citywide. One was leading the charge to change how local roads are funded in our city. Prior to we having a citywide road millage for local roads, we had a very difficult system, a special assessment, and that was not yielding the results that we would like, which is to improve our roads. It was a slow process. It also pitted neighbor against neighbor, and I led the charge to put on the ballot a local road, citywide road millage.
If I could just interrupt you, the public may not be aware of this special assessment district that existed in Farmington Hills. When we bought our house several years ago, we arrived at a purchase price. We were agreed. And then just before closing, because our roads in our subdivision had been rebuilt, the question of the special road assessment, and it was $20-something thousand. And who's going to pay that? Well, the seller didn't want to pay it. And so we had to pay it. And I believe what you're talking about was the city charter was changed to get rid of that special assessment?
Exactly. The city charter was changed, and we put on the ballot a local road millage to fund local roads. And that has resulted in, first, we have over 300 miles of local roads in Farmington Hills that we're responsible for. And at that time, the roads were the PACER rating. This is the scale used nationally to evaluate roads in regards to their status. It's poor, fair, good roads. So we had about 90% of our road, 90% of our roads are in the poor position, fair or poor condition. And so the need was great. And the current system through special assessment was not cutting it in order to get what we needed to get done in regards to improving our roads. So now we're making substantial progress. Our PACER rating, again, the scale used to evaluate road conditions, have improved to a point where we got more roads coming into the good status and less in the poor status. We still have a ways to go because the cost of roads have increased significantly. When we passed the millage in 2000, I think it was 18, the cost for building a new asphalt or concrete road was $1 million. Now that same cost is around $2 million. And the millage brings in about $8 to $10 million. So we only can do a certain amount of roads per year. And when you look at, we have 300 miles of roads to cover. You see that we are a long way toward getting all of our roads done. But the fact is now we have a program in place, citywide road millage. We are improving in that area in regards to our local roads. It's vitally important for neighborhood stabilization as well as attracting new families to Farmington Hills.
I know when that city charter amendment passed, it was voted on by the residents. Then I received a significant portion of my special assessment fund back, and I appreciated that. But it really was a hindrance to maintaining roads.
Yes, it was. It was, and it was a system in place that was very slow in getting the roads improved, where we want them to be improved. And this new system puts everybody's road on a schedule based on their deterioration status. So all roads in Farmington Hills, local roads, neighborhood roads, will be reconstructed, either with asphalt or concrete. And we will also make those enhancements to sewer, things that are necessary as well at the same time. So we're well on our way to having all our roads in our city to be brought up to a better status in regards to condition. That's our goal.
And what is something else you said you had a couple of things?
Oh yeah, I pushed hard to get body-wide police cameras for our police officers in Farmington Hills. I recognize the need for transparency and accountability. It helps the police in regards to protecting themselves, in regards to what they're doing in the field to help with lawsuits that may come our way to the city, but also gives the public ways to be involved in that process in regards to transparency, accountability. I'm very proud that I led the fight to bring those body-wide cameras to our police officers in Farmington Hills. Yes.
Anything else that you're thinking of?
Well, I've been a big stickler in regards to making sure our city will continue to be have a AAA bond rating, which is very important to the city's future. That's essential that we maintain a AAA bond rating in Farmington Hills, and I know that it is a major factor in people's and prospective residents and new businesses coming to Farmington Hills, having a city that's well known to be well run in regards to fiscally. And we've had that status with AAA bond rating for so many years. I've been part of the process to make that we maintain that. And it's my goal, if reelected, to make sure we have a AAA bond rating. In addition to that, is making sure that we remain a safe city. That's critically important as well from the standpoint of attracting new families and new businesses to our community. So those are things I'm also very proud of as well.
The city of Farmington Hills has contracted with a consultant from Atlanta, Georgia, to review special services.
Yes.
That's park and rec, and it also includes senior services.
Yes, all of it.
And they're looking at everything. One of the issues that emerged from that study, I've attended several of the seminars, is that the current senior building, the Caustic Center, needs to be replaced.
Yes.
The pool leaks, the building leaks. It's it has suffered from deferred maintenance. So the question that was posed or addressed by the consultant was, what do you do with the senior center? Do you build it at the 11 Mile, a new one? There was some discussion about building a facility at Oakland Community College, but that doesn't seem to be viable anymore. They're working to build a hockey arena,
Yes.
and that'll change the complexion of that campus here in Farmington Hills. And the third was to build something, a new annex at the Hawk. The Hawk is a 55-year-old building, and the consultant said it needed about $15 to $18 million of maintenance just on the current building, let alone adding new. You'd have to build a new pool. I think the report said a new pool, a new gymnasium and meeting rooms, things like that. So the question I have for you is, this has been on the agenda for years.
16 months, 18
Yeah,
months.
yeah. So what is your position? What do you think about ought to be what the city should consider doing in terms of maintaining senior services, or as you see it looking forward?
That's a good question. That's probably the most pressing issue that the city council has to deal with after the election, is to decide the location of the new senior center building in Farmington Hills and how we will put together the necessary financial package to make that happen. I'm in full support of building at the new senior center at the existing campus, more closer to 11 Mile Road. I serve as the city council's liaison to the Area on Aging Commission. So I've become very eminently familiar with the needs and desires of the senior community. And again, that report you just referenced as well, I read that and I attended briefings on that as well. And yeah, we took a deep dive in that report, looking at all special services departments, including cultural affairs, senior center, the theater, and the Hawk, and looking at every aspect of that. And because we didn't have good data prior to this study in regards to the cost associated with that particular department, those particular entities within that department, and now we do. So we know what the cost aspects are for each of those areas and what the revenue situation is. And the recommendation is to, for example, is to hire a promoter, a marketer, to help us market the theater in Farmington Hills, to have more events there. It's our theater is one of the best theaters around in Metro Detroit. In fact, Farmington Hills was recognized by the Architectural Digest recently for being one of the top cities in the country to live at, primarily citing the fact that we are a well-run city, but also our cultural affairs in Farmington Hills. So this report generated some great information in regards to how we can generate more revenue and how we can reduce costs. And also, but I'm in full support of building a new center at the existing campus, and we have the financial means to make that happen without a millage increase. Farmington Hills, we will sell the building. My proposal is to sell the building to a developer, raise, maybe acquire $3 to $4 million there. We want to receive a $4 million grant from the Oakland County Parks Recreation Millage. That's $7 million. In addition to that, we have a hefty fund balance. Farmington Hills has a history of being a well-run city, so we have enough in our fund balance to draw on to help supplement that $7 million just talked about. And then we have a low debt expense. We have a AAA bond rating, which will allow us to go on the bond market to get bonds at a very low expense as well. All that together can help build a new senior center, as well as finance the necessary repairs, the maintenance that you talked about at the Hawk. It's not $15 million. I think it's like $7 million at the Hawk that needs to be deferred. $5 to $7 million need to be deferred maintenance there. But that's my position. Build it at the same location, no tax increase, no millage increase, and build it right there. And I think that my financial outline approach toward building that is also, I think, a good way to start regarding financing a new building. Yes.
I do appreciate the very in-depth answer that you've provided. One thing, kind of a sort of a follow-on question, the actual former powers of a city council member are somewhat limited. You are one vote among 7.
Yes.
Even the mayor only has one vote.
Veto.
The mayor does not veto. The mayor, cannot issue anything without the approval of the majority of the city council. So the question is, and this is always an interesting question, how will you work with other city council members to secure the policy preferences that you want to achieve looking forward? Because this is a 4-year term. This is not a short term. It's a long-term commitment. But what's your strategy for working with council members?
Well, the strategy is to respect everybody's opinion first. Secondly, to listen to what other people's viewpoints are. Make sure you have your viewpoint, and then make sure you're open to disinformation in regards to that may change your opinion about things. So it requires listening. It requires, being skeptical, information being presented to you. Do your own research. It requires also having relationships where people know that you are a person of substance and that you will make decisions based on what's best for the community. So I think all those qualities helps a lot in building consensus. You're right, we operate on consensus. You need 4 votes to get anything done. And I've had a record of working with everybody on city council. I don't care what stripes they are in regards politically. I work with everybody for the betterment of the city, Farmington Hills. That's my goal, is to make sure that Farmington Hills remain a safe city, a city that's well run, and that we are attractive to new families, new businesses. So you do that by, what is just outlined to you. Yes.
As I was looking at your some of the statements on your page, campaign letter, you talked about the city has completed a 5-year master plan.
Yes.
And I would you state that lays out our future. Yes. For the city. Could you tell me just a little bit how you think or what you think the city can do as a result of having approved this 5-year plan? What does it let us do? What do you think the effort should be in terms of making Farmington Hills an even greater city than it is today?
Great question. As you know, all cities are required to do a master plan in the state of Michigan. It's part of the, you have to do a master plan review every 5 years. We completed ours. It was a very exhaustive 5-year plan. I've seen several plans that have been on council for 17 years. This plan, I think, is a great one because I think it really gives us an opportunity to revitalize some commercial areas in Farmington Hills, to hopefully jumpstart some redevelopment on 12 Mile Road between Farmington and Halstead. The office buildings located there. And but the plan is, I think, a good one because there's several things within that plan that will help make sure our residential neighborhoods are strong and vibrant. After all, residents pay about 65% of all the taxes in Farmington Hills. So this plan will help make sure our neighborhoods remain vibrant and strong. But also it focuses on commercial revitalization, notably in that 12 Mile Road between Farmington and Halstead. There's a lot of office buildings there that the office market, as you know, TR has changed substantially. It was actually accelerated with the issue of COVID. And so we have some office buildings there that are partially occupied, that are facing lease expirations. So the master plan looked at flexible uses allowed there. We have some large parking lots on that area, in that area there, that are just spaces of parks and parking spaces, and they're not necessary. So we're going to allow for additional uses over there. We're going to allow for retail there as well. We're going to also, the state of Michigan passed legislation that will encourage office buildings to be converted to residential. So we're going to look at that as well. And but we already got some early interest in that area. I've talked to our community development director and city manager, and they tell me that there's early interest in this proposal to convert some of these office buildings into residential complexes with retail in the front there. We're doing the same thing down in Grand River Avenue as well. There's a recent market study down there that said that that area, Grand River, we have a corridor improvement authority that governs that particular area in regards to advising council in regards to what's happening there. A recent study in regards to a market retail study revealed that over about that area can absorb about 100,000 square feet of retail space, particularly a grocery store and other retail. So that's another area that the master plan looked at that we're going to focus on, as well as Orchard Lake Road. That's also a part of our plan as well. So I'm excited about the master plan that what we completed, and we're in the process now in City Council to effectuate zoning ordinance changes in the city to affect that plan, make sure that plan is implemented. So we're in the process of doing that right now, going through recommendation from the Planning Commission and to look at what type of zoning change necessary in order to make that plan a reality in Farmington Hills.
I know that the city also is home to some larger corporations. Yes. Bosch comes to mind. We have Nissan Engineering Campus. How would you see, what would be a strategy that Farmington Hills could use to retain some of those larger businesses? We have, Humanetics. They build all of the crash dummies. Now, the crash dummies that we think about them, they're very expensive. They cost upwards of $1 million a copy. So what would you see that Farmington Hills could do, the city could do, to retain and expand the larger corporations as well as the smaller businesses?
Yeah, that's a good question. We're always looking for, we have an economic development director, and part of her job is to go to those businesses and find out what their needs are, what their future plans are, and make sure that we are aware of those plans and how the city can integrate our policies and our practices to make sure those plans are reality. So we have economic development director. That's her job, is to make sure that she's in touch with these large businesses to ensure that we are aware of their plans and what we can do as a city to make those plans become a reality. That's one thing we can do. In addition to that, just keeping making sure we promote Farmington Hills at all we can in those businesses, and stay in touch with them. That's critically important. It was a very competitive environment out there with businesses, and we have competition from neighboring communities all the time. They're looking to take businesses out of your community, bring in their community. But Farmington Hills is uniquely suited. We are a city that has a history of being a well-run city. We're centrally located, and we have a population that I think that lends itself for businesses like that to be in Farmington Hills. Yes.
As we're talking about the future of Farmington Hills, what would you say is or one of the greatest challenges that we face? There's probably several, but if you were to say Farmington Hills is a challenge in this area or that area, what's a big challenge that we face as a city in terms of being able to grow? We're not going to grow in terms of geographic size, yeah. Well, but in terms of economic base and housing, et cetera.
That's a good question. As you know, TR, Farmington Hills is 99% built. Okay. So any type of residential development is going to be somewhat controversial, because the fact is that we have RA1 districts in our city that people move to Farmington Hills for a specific reason. They like the open space, they like the wooded lots, and I support that, and I want to maintain that. That's the city's character. Now we should do all we can to make sure that's maintained, and that's what still exists in our city. But we do have a challenge because of the fact that we're 99% built. So do we build vertically, or we at the same time look for ways for redevelopment of existing structures? And we're facing competition all the time. So we got to make sure that we have the administrative situation clear in regards to development in Farmington Hills, making sure that if any impediments that we have in regards to administration-wise and improving contracts or inspection or reports, that it can be done administratively, we should do it administratively. At the same time, we got to be making sure we're telling our story at developmental conferences across the country, that we're trying to get more restaurants in Farmington Hills, which is a goal of mine as well. Bring more restaurants, more social gathering spots in Farmington Hills. So we got to have zoning that basically allowed it to happen. We recently passed zoning that would allow it to happen, where in the past we had a situation where our zoning required a food to be present and within a establishment. So that prevented wine bars and cigar bars from coming to Farmington Hills, because some these establishments don't have food in them. So that's been omitted. No more reliance no requirement that some of the establishments have to have a kitchen. So we just got to continue to tell our story, and recognize also that Farmington Hills has certain advantages that other communities don't have advantages. We have some disadvantages too. So we got to make sure that we are minimizing disadvantages and maximizing our advantages. And we do that through communication, making sure we are current, that we know what the market is calling for.
One thing that people always are curious about, and I've advised people that they should check it out. What about your background? What in your background qualifies you to serve on city council? What, as we look at you, look at Michael Bridges, city council members, you're going to make decisions about finances. You're going to make decisions about economic development. You're going to make decisions about social services, about how, you name it, you're going to be making all kinds of things. Right. So tell me about your background. How does your background equip you to do this job, to do it effectively and to do it appropriately for the residents?
I think it goes back to what I said earlier in regards to my interest in public service, that my commitment has been there for years. I mean, I started this effort, this goal to be in public service when I was 19 years of age. So that's number one. Number two, my genuine desire to make a difference, and I like being involved in community service. And I have a bachelor's degree in business administration from Spring Arbor College, where I learned about marketing and economics and accounting. And I'm always constantly trying to understand what's happening and new information from different sources regarding what's happening around our country or what's happening in our city. So I just think that number one is the desire to serve, and just to serve with integrity, with character, and to lead when you need to lead, and to with the goal of making sure Farmington Hills remain what it is, a great city that we all love, and that we want to maintain where it's at, maintain our AAA bond rating, and maintain our safe city designation, our quality of life, our strong city services. And when that's your goal, and you have genuine interest in maintaining those goals, I think it makes it a lot easier to do your job.
One thing I've also advised when I was an academic, teaching local government, I advise students to be aware of the background. Are there any legal entanglements between you and the city, over the 20 years where the city has taken action against you, or you've sued the city? I don't think you have, but any legal, it's the reason I ask this question is when I'm from the St. Louis area, we had individuals who ran for elective office, were elected, and immediately after being elected, we found out that there were some disqualifying things about them. And so nobody ever asked the question, how did this happen? And in retrospect, did anybody ask them? And so nobody had. So just a little question, anything in your background that we should know of that's any, this is not a hostile question, but just.
Well, I appreciate your question. Nothing's in my background at all. I've never been accused of any type of crime like that, or any type of any pending situation. I never sued the city. I'm married for 34 years to my wife, Deborah. I have two sons who are both graduates of Farmington Public School System, and both are medical residents right now. And I come from a family of 8. Mother and father were both sharecroppers from Mississippi. And I'm the first one in the family with a college education, but there's nothing in my background like that at all, no.
Okay, great. Well, to conclude our interview, I would ask you this, I'm a voter and I'm looking at a list of names.
Right.
Michael Bridges' name appears. Why should I vote for you? Give me 2 or 3 reasons why I or somebody else should vote for you for our Farmington Hills City Council.
I think for me, because I've been there for 17 years, I was elected in 2008, reelected 4 times, served as mayor pro tem 3 times, demonstrated experience, thoughtful vision for the city, and just a genuine desire to serve the community of Farmington Hills that's genuine, and that I've led, and I've also contributed toward what Farmington Hills is today, regarding being a safe city, a record of history, history of being a well-run city, a AAA bond rating, good quality of life, great city services, and I will continue to do that. It'll be my goals to make sure that we maintain those factors going forward. So vote for me because of the fact of thoughtful vision, demonstrated leadership, and experience. That's why. Vote for Michael Bridges.
This has been an interview with Michael Bridges, candidate for City Council, Farmington Hills. Michael, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
And we will.
Let me just say, I want to congratulate you on your podcast too. I mean, I know you have a long history of being involved in local government. You're in urban planning and down in St. Louis, and you have a wealth of knowledge. And I want to just thank you for having your podcast. And I'm happy to be part of your inaugural edition, to be part of this this effort of communication regarding Farmington Hills. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that endorsement, and I might just tag on to Michael's statement. Be sure and subscribe to this podcast because we'll be doing all the candidates. And then after the election season, we're looking at a number of other policy issues that face local government. So again, be sure and do that. Again, Michael, thank you very much for being, and we wish you the best.
Thank you, Todd. Thank TR. Appreciate you. Thank you.